Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and Action Movie Night. Tonight, I will be reviewing Commando, released in 1985. Commando stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Chong, Alyssa Milano, Dan Hedaya, Vernon Wells, James Olson, David Patrick Kelly, Bill Duke, Drew Snyder, Michael Delano, Chelsea Field, and Bill Paxton. Commando was directed by Mark L. Lester. This is another film that was produced by Joel Silver, amazing producer. This was Arnold Schwarzenegger's big follow-up to The Terminator. And going from playing the villain in The Terminator to playing the good guy in this one, playing the character of Colonel John Matrix. This was him trying to capitalize off of also following a great role as the Terminator, but he's also following Sylvester Stallone doing First Blood. So this was his competition toward him of playing this military badass, much like Sylvester Stallone had in the First Blood movies. So, it is a really good action film, and I'm reviewing the director's cut because I think the director's cut is a much better version of the story. It not only includes a lot more violence and everything, of course, which is great for a guy like me that's into horror and everything more, and it's got some gruesome kills in here. It's pretty damn good. But it also has extended sequences in which Matrix, when he first meets Radon Chong's character of Cindy, and he's trying to ask her to help him, he actually tells her more about his daughter Jenny and what happened and everything, to where it's more understandable that Cindy truly wants to help him and why she jumps on board to help him in this film.
Well, what about her mother?
She died when Jenny was born.
I'm sorry.
I was in Laos at the time.
In the original cut of this, the theatrical version, they cut a lot of this stuff out, and it really makes it look silly that Cindy just decides to go along with him on this when, he just doesn't really explain himself that well to her. This cut is much better as far as that, because it makes John actually tell her a lot about his daughter.
So I came back intending to raise her. But I was never home. And
Alyssa Milano was great in this. She plays the role of Jenny, and she one of her early film roles, of course, and she was really good in this, playing Matrix's daughter. Dan Hedaya is playing our lead villain of President Arius, and he really he puts a lot of emphasis on his accent that he's trying to do, because he's trying to sound like he's South American or something like that. And in some ways it's a little too much, but he makes it work.
Colonel Matrix, you do not understand the country like Valverde.
Our main bad guy against Arnold as Matrix is Vernon Wells playing Bennett. And his performance in this is just so good. Much like Dan Hedaya, he does go a little over the top with his villainy. But it works for the character of Bennett.
Ever since you had me thrown out of your unit, I've waited to pay you back. Do you know what today is, Matrix? Payday.
Some of the lines that Bennett gets, he gets as good of one-liners in this thing as what Matrix does.
I'll be back, Bennett.
John? I'll be ready, John.
And that's saying something, that your villain gets as good of lines as what your hero does.
I love listening to your little pissant soldiers trying to talk tough. They make me laugh.
The other cast members in this, David Patrick Kelly plays the character of Sully, another one of the bad guys. And this is a great film for Arnold, because Arnold is not the best of actors, but if you surround him with a great group of actors around him playing the bad guys and stuff like this film does. I mean, like I said, you have Dan Hedaya, Vernon Wells, David Patrick Kelly playing Sully. You have Bill Duke playing Cook. And it is just, these guys work really well with him to give him a lot to work with.
You're a funny guy, Sully. I like you. That's why I'm going to kill you last.
You remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
That's what made you did.
I lied.
The fight scene between Arnold and Bill Duke as Cook is a pretty cool fight scene in there, with Radon Chong's reactions to the fight scenes hilarious.
You scared, motherfucker? Well, you should be, because the Green Beret's gonna kick your big ass.
I ate green berets for breakfast. And right now, I'm very hungry.
These guys eat too much red meat.
And then, of course, your final fight between Vernon Wells as Bennett and Arnold Schwarzenegger as Matrix is... it doesn't get put on a lot of greatest final fight scenes in movies. But I think that's a mistake. I think this is a great final fight between a great final villain and a great hero. John Matrix is over the top in his, as far as, setting up to go after them, putting on his makeup and getting all of his gear and getting all of his stuff. That's Mark L. Lester basically taking the parts from with Rambo. Rambo does the same thing, so they had to have that in there, I guess. They, feeling that they had to compete with Stallone in there. Great smaller role from Chelsea Field as a brunette stewardess on this plane. She does a really good job. I've always liked Chelsea Field.
Excuse me, how long is the flight?
We land in Valverde in exactly 11 hours.
Thank you. And do me a favor. Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired.
And, of course, Bill Paxton plays a small but quite memorable little role in here as an interceptor officer.
Repeat. Urgent. You must contact General Franklin Kirby.
You must first change course or you risk being shot down.
Acknowledge.
We lost him, sir.
But yeah, the music in this film, by the great underrated composer James Horner. He does such a great score for this. It's very similar in a way to his score that he did for 48 Hours. And Commando is firmly in its time period, 1985. But it still is a fun movie to watch and a fun story to enjoy. I will give Commando from 1985, I will give this film a 9.6 out of 10. This is one hell of a great action film, and if you watch the director's cut, you are getting that extra gore and you are getting that extra story details that this story needed. So, excellent performances from Chong, Alyssa Milano, Dan Hedaya, Vernon Wells, James Olson, David Patrick Kelly, Bill Duke. Just an amazing action film. Well-directed action sequences from Mark L. Lester. Mark L. Lester was always a very underrated, very good action director. So, if you have not seen this film, please do yourself a favor. Go out and find it now. It is well worth it. But have you seen this movie already? And if you have, let me know what you think in the comments down below. You agree with my rating? Do you disagree? And, as usual, if you like this video, do not forget to smash that like, share, and subscribe button, because it really does help this channel out a lot. Alright, it's the end of another action movie night. Hope you will join me tomorrow for video game night. Until then, thank you for watching.